Max Holloway defeats Dustin Poirier at UFC 318 to retain the BMF title. Poirier looked, like he was a little bit behind the entire fight. Holloway looked very good. Like I said, if Holloway were to get off early and, establish dominance early in the fight, he was probably going to take the fight. I had him winning by decision. That's what happened. I did say that I was rooting for Poirier in the Pick'ems fight. It was more of like I wanted him to win for, his last fight when I was doing the breakdown. But my heart said, my brain said Max by decision, and that's what ended up happening. And, the first round was really good. Max goes out there, drops him twice. I thought it was going to be an early night for Dustin. And then, Dustin, he weathers the storm. He goes out there and he goes into round two, drops Poirier at the end of round two, beats him up a little bit on the ground, jumps for a guillotine with 10 seconds left, which is just, I don't understand why he did that, but when there's 10 seconds left, you're not going to choke anybody out. Your best bet if you're going to submit anybody is go for a joint submission to where if they don't tap, at least they're compromised for the rest of the fight. But anyway, he ends up on top, ground and pounds him second round. So going into the third round, it was 1-1. And then from then on out, I gave every round to Max Holloway. I thought it was 4-1 at the end of the fight. I didn't think it was 48-47 like one judge gave it. I don't know where Dustin won another round after that. Like, it was a close fight. Like, they were, it was kind of tit for tat, but you could tell Max Holloway was controlling, and he was doing a little bit more with the kicks. Like, Poirier was kind of boxing a lot, and he wasn't really throwing his left hand as much. I don't know if his left arm was broken. One of my buddies was thinking it was because of how many kicks he was eating, and then he just stopped throwing the left hand from southpaw. He kept transitioning into that orthodox stance and throwing the big overhand right. But other than that, Poirier just seemed like he was a little step behind. He didn't look sloppy. He didn't look bad. It just like Max was just in front of the fight the whole time. He was just controlling the fight. Nice combos. Target changing, throwing a lot of kicks, a lot of oblique kicks, a lot of body kicks that you don't really see Max do. Max looked really good, and I'm excited to see what's next for Max. Maybe if Patty doesn't get the title shot, we do Max versus Patty for the number one contender. Because I do think, at the end of the day, I do think Arman Sarukian takes it. And, in the second round as well, when Max got dropped at the very end with 15 seconds left, Max was piecing Poirier up. Like, he did hurt him bad at the beginning of that second round. A lot of people, just remember the ending of the Poirier, blitz at the end of round two. But, he was piecing Poirier up at the beginning of round two as well. So you could have honestly even 5-0'd it, 50-40, 45 for Max. But, it would be cool to see him fight, either Charles Oliveira or Patty, because I don't know if Patty's going to get the title shot or not, if they're going to give it to Arman Sarukian, who's probably the real number one contender. It's just, his fluke, he pulled out against Islam for whatever reason. But yeah, Max, he has some fun fights there. If he fights Patty the Batty, I do think that'd be a really, really solid test for Patty. And then if he fights Oliveira, I think that'd just be a really fun fight for both fighters. I don't think that really does much for the division because, if Oliveira wins, he's kind of just in the mix still. I don't know. I don't like a Holloway rematch against Porier. I think the same thing happens again. Maybe even worse this time. Maybe not because Poirier or Holloway doesn't have to cut down to 45 to fight Ilya, but still, I think Ilya chins him again in the lightweight division. So we'll see what's next for Holloway. Even a Holloway versus Chandler fight would be pretty good. Chandler, I don't think is deserving of a fight like that, but someone in the top 5, give Max someone top 5, top 7, right? It'll be any one of those guys is a fun fight for Holloway. Poirier, thank you. It sucks seeing you go out on a loss. I was rooting for you. I'm one of your biggest fans, and on behalf of all the MMA community, thank you for all your legendary fights. So in the co-main event, Paulo Costa versus Roman Kopylov. Bro, Paulo Costa came out. He surprised a lot of us, man, because I had Roman going into this. I thought Roman was going to be a little bit more. I thought he was going to be more active than he was. I thought he was going to have more volume and, break down Costa with the kicks and the punches, constant in and out movement that he's doing. But Paulo Costa, he brought the very good boxing, had a very good performance. He was splitting Roman's jab all night with his left hand, or his right hand, I mean, because Roman was southpaw. So every time Roman threw a jab, Paulo Costa was getting his head offline, throwing a right hand right down the middle and splitting his jab and then throwing a lot of kicks. And Roman was just gun shy the whole time, right? Anytime Paulo Costa did anything, Roman straight up just put his hands up and would bite like that. Not like a, not like a woo woo. Like he would straight up just cover up, like he was scared to get hit by Paulo Costa's punches. And when you're that scared to fight, and the dude's gonna be one step ahead of you the whole time when you're flinching that bad to where you're literally covering up rather than trying to see the punches coming and having counters for them. So Paulo Costa looked really good. I thought he won all 3 rounds, 30-27. Maybe you could give an argument for the last round going Roman's way because he started a little hot, but I mean, towards he got hurt in the 3rd round as well with a big right hand. Paulo Costa looked good, man. He has good boxing. He had very good, kicks as well, body kicks, inside low kicks, left body kicks, switch kicks to the body. But his boxing overall looked really good, and his volume. He looked like he had really good volume. He was gassing out. You could tell he was gassing a little bit towards the end of the 3rd round. And then he comes out Chimaev in the end, says that he was in his wife's DMs. So that is a valid crash out for Paulo Costa if Paulo Costa wants that fight. But we'll see, because if Khamzat wins the belt, Paulo Costa's not going to get the title shot. He's going to have to fight one more dude or something like that. And because he's ranked 10 or 11? Like, he's not even in the top 5. So calling out someone that's fighting for the belt, it's smart, I guess, because it'll, launch you into a top 5 opponent. But I don't think he beats Khamzat Chimaev. We'll see how Khamzat does against DDP, but we'll save that for a different video. But yeah, Paulo looked good, man. Daniel Rodriguez beating Kevin Holland, that surprised me that surprised me the most, because I thought Kevin Holland was going to be a little more tighter on the feet. I thought his defense was going to be a little bit better. Like when he fought Joaquin Buckley, he was really in and out, and he was just, rolling with a lot of punches, seeing a lot of the punches coming, and just not allowing Buckley to let any offense off with his boxing. He had really good boxing defense, but he was just running into Daniel's punches when he would just jump in, lunge in with his hands down, kind of just putting himself in bad positions when he would, step a certain way or feint a certain way. And Daniel Rodriguez ended up clipping him with a huge left hand, which I'm surprised didn't just drop him outright, but it hurt him really bad to where, it did end up dropping Kevin Holland. But I don't know how Daniel, didn't finish that fight. And then in the 2nd round when he caught him, and then in the 3rd round, he kind of hurt Kevin again, and then Kevin hurts him real bad, and then he starts whooping his ass and does a couple things that he probably shouldn't have done when he was going for the finish, and put him in a bad position. Daniel ends up turning it around, ending up on top, ending the fight in full guard or maybe in mount, I forget. But anytime the fight went to the ground, Daniel did a really good job at, blocking certain, triangle attempts. He was doing really well at positional scrambles. And he ends up pulling off the 29-28 victory, which I thought was true. I gave Kevin round 1. I gave Daniel Rodriguez round 2. And then I thought Daniel stole round 3 from Kevin. Even though Kevin did let loose on him for a good amount of time in the 3rd round, I do think that Kevin still ended up losing that 3rd round because Daniel just stole it with surviving, hurting him back, and then ending the fight on top, on the ground. That was, very surprising because Daniel Rodriguez, a lot of people counted him out. I just thought Kevin was going to be a little more tighter, with the hands. I thought he was going to be, in and out, but he wasn't. He was letting Daniel kind of just find the target, which is, kind of weird for Kevin Holland because, it's kind of hard to hit that guy. I just thought I would see a little bit more defensive awareness from Kevin. Another fight that really surprised me. I mean, all these fights kind of really surprised me in the main card, but Patricio Pitbull, he looked pretty good against Dan Ige. he had good strikes off of breaks. Meaning like, whether there was like a combination where both dudes threw and then like exited, and then right when the distance closed again, he would throw a 1-2, so he wouldn't let Ige get comfortable with the distance. He wouldn't let him just come back in the distance for free. He was throwing a lot of 1-2s off breaks, off of clinch breaks, and then once they clinch, they break, and then right when they get back in the distance, he was letting something off, and it was mainly a 1-2. So he was looking really good there. He hit Ige with a couple good, really good takedowns. Nice sweep. Almost took his back. Almost had his back, and was gonna go after submissions. He hurt Ige in the second round when they both threw a right hand. His connected. Ige didn't get his head offline. Hurt him really bad, and then had a really good moment of like going to the body, going to the head, just walking Ige down. And then in the third round, Ige almost took his head off with a head kick that he ran into. He hit the Patricio Pitbull, ducked into a knee that was meant to be like a head kick or a body kick, ducked into the kick, took it straight on the chin, and then almost got finished. Dan Ige was looking pretty good, but then he ends up losing the fight. I think it was Pitbull rounds 1 and 2, 29-28. I thought that was a fair call. And yeah, Pitbull looked pretty good. I don't know necessarily who to put him up against next, but if he keeps having solid performances like this, like he's right back in the mix. He did fight a really good Yair Rodriguez in his first fight, and that's a lot of pressure, especially someone like Yair Rodriguez that's just really weird on the feet, hard to calculate. Give him another good boxer / wrestler, and I think he'll do really good. Michael Johnson beating Daniel Zellweger. Now, Daniel Zellweger gave me reminiscence of the dude who fought Rafael Fiziev, the other Mexican dude who everyone picked to beat Rafael. I didn't. I picked Rafael. I should have went with that logic with this fight because Michael Johnson is a vet. He's got good hands. He's still fast. And he's just got really good fundamentals on the ground as well. So anytime the fight went to the ground, he just did really well too. But he landed a lot of punches to the body, to the head, mixing it up. A lot of right hooks coming off of that straight left. And Zellweger he didn't have nothing for him besides his kick that he was throwing. Threw a lot of kicks. Michael Johnson ate him really well. He threw a couple that were really good to the body, but he was really just blind kicks to the head where, Michael Johnson was blocking him. And like the idea behind that is to get Johnson's left hand busy so he can't throw his left hand as much. But when you're not throwing any punches either, like, and that the kick's all he's got to worry about, he was catching the kick and then just throwing his left right to the body and then going right hook to the head after that because, Zellweger wasn't really throwing any counter shots back with punches, so he kind of gave Michael Johnson just a wide open counters and a lot of time to just put combos together. He didn't look that great. Zellweger, I thought, like I said, it was reminiscence of the recent Rafael Fiziev fight. Like like when you fight veterans, and you're a young up and coming dude, you gotta fucking put the fight to them. You gotta bring the fight to them. You gotta show. You gotta demand your respect. You know what I mean? Because someone like Michael Johnson and someone like Rafael Fiziev, they're not going to go out easy, right? They're not going to just let you steamroll over them. Doesn't matter how old they are. Not like Rafael's old, but like Michael is. But Michael's the type of guy you got to fucking knock out or make him go on his back foot if you want to win that fight, because it's going to be hard to outstrike him. It's going to be hard, to outpoint him because he is very good on the feet as well. So you got to just be better. You got to be better, man. Like, that's just it. You got to be better than these guys, obviously. But you know what I'm trying to say. Next up, we got Vinicius Oliveira and Kyler Phillips. I kind of thought Kyler Phillips won round 1, and then round 3 was a little bit of a toss-up. I thought he was a little more cleaner. He was, moving around kind of sloppy, but I don't think Vinicius landed a lot of clean shots in that third round for me to really give it to him. He was walking forward, but I don't give you any points for octagon control, I guess, air quotes, when you're just walking forward and nothing's landing, right? I don't give you, that doesn't give you any points to me. Like, there is a style of backing up, countering, and, being on your back foot and still winning the fight without the guy, he was walking him down, hands down. I thought Kyler should have threw more head kicks, throwing a bunch of weird spinning back kicks, spinning wheel kicks to the head that I was just like, dude, if you just throw your cross and when fucking Vinicius ducks with his hand down, you throw a head kick behind it, like, you'll be able to control him more. You'll gain a lot more respect. But he was just a little too scared of Oliveira's just power punches because he was just walking him down like a madman, throwing haymakers. I was surprised. Kyler gassed because he had a really good hot round one, and I think that took a lot of gas out of him. And, round two, he got clipped really hard, so I think he was just scared of Oliveira's power, and Oliveira was just throwing haymakers. So I was surprised he was the one that wasn't gassing, but, you don't gas as much when you're just walking forward, right? Phillips is really fucking, hesitant, tight, doing too much, while Vinicius is just walking forward really calm. So you're going to lose a lot more gas when you're more tentative walking backwards. Just relax. You could walk backwards and pull your target in without being so sporadic. Kyler Phillips's footwork just needs a little bit more tuned, because he has good footwork, but it's you could slow down a little bit and then exit. You don't have to always be moving backwards the entire time, right? But they both did look really, they both put on a good fight, I thought the round 3 was a little bit of a toss-up to me. I'm not mad at who won round 3, but I could argue Kyler won round 3 as well. But really good fight from both guys. It was entertaining. And then we get Brendan Allen and Marvin Vettori, which was the fight of the night, which I don't agree with, because it looked like Brendan Allen was pretty much controlling the fight the entire time. He won 30-27, so I don't see how a 30-27 is fight of the night. Marvin Vettori did land some good shots, but Daniel Rodriguez and Kevin Holland was way more dramatic. It was a 29-28. There was more drama there between each round. The third round, second round, Daniel looks like he's going to put Kevin Holland out. Third round, Daniel looks like he's going to lose from a TKO, and then he turns it around and fucking has Kevin Holland on his back. So, I thought Kevin Holland and Daniel Rodriguez was the fight of the night. But they ended up giving it to Brendan Allen and Marvin Vettori. Brendan Allen, marched him down, ate a lot of good shots. He didn't really move his head at all when Marvin Vettori was throwing his hook cross and then his hooks. He was just kind of eating his shots and then giving, take one to give one. I didn't agree with the 30-27. I agreed with the 29-28. I think Marvin, won, the second round, maybe the first round. But it was a good fight. I thought, when I was watching it, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna give some props to Marvin, because it looks like he actually came to fight this time. He's not running away from the fight. He's not trying to just point fight or hug against the cage. He was doing a really good job with striking with Brendan Allen, but Brendan Allen just seemed like he was just too much for Vettori. Vettori was wearing the damage on him, early off in round 1 when he ate that hook. And yeah, it was a good fight. I don't think either of those guys are really gonna make a title run. Maybe Brendan Allen makes a small title run, but I don't think he'll get the belt. But it was an entertaining fight nonetheless. It should have been on the main card. I don't know how this fight, a ranked middleweight fight, is in the middle of the prelims. It's not even, it's literally it's not even the featured prelim fight, which it should have been, or maybe on the main card. And then, Michael Johnson and Zellerber should have been the featured prelim fight, because Brendan Allen versus Vettori would have been a great opener to the main card. So then we got Nikolai Verenikov versus Prado. I thought Prado won. I thought he just did a little more. It was back and forth. It was really back and forth. Both guys were doing a lot of things to they just made a lot of mistakes to where the other guy was countering off of, in the grappling exchanges. And it was a good fight. It wasn't that bad. It was, a little bit of stand up, a little bit of grappling. The fight kind of went everywhere. Both guys, like I said, were doing things that just compromised, the position they were in to let the other guy, get a better position on them. And yeah, I think both guys need to just sharpen up a little bit of those skills so that doesn't happen, make the better IQ calls. And I think Prado needs to drop down to lightweight, because these dudes at welterweight are just huge, and he's not that tall, he's not that big. But at the same time, it's fight wherever you're comfortable, it is what it is. But it was a good fight. And then we got Gutierrez versus Robert Valentin. Thibaut Gutierrez knocked the dude out, just a flawless victory, knocked him out, the Cameroonian. Man, listen, you know what they say, 15 years in the salt mine and forget. 15 years in the salt mine slavery encampment and forget, and you will get a Thibaut Gutierrez and Francis Ngannou kind of fighter. Gutierrez looks like a more polished Francis Ngannou. That's what he reminds me of. Because this dude fucking cracks. He's big. He's athletic. He looks like his body style looks like a Kamaru Usman, where he's just jacked, insanely jacked everywhere. But he has way better hands than Kamaru. Who knows about his ground game, right? I don't really know about his ground game, but he's really good on the feet. Punches really hard, very accurate, and really poised. Like when he hurt Robert, he wasn't like just throwing bombs. He was trying to find a good shot. You know what I mean? So yeah, Gutierrez knocked him out first round, looked really good. And then Islam Dulatov, German fucking Versace model or something like that. He's a model. Goes in there, knocks out Adam Fugit, whatever, in the first round. Yeah, I mean, I want to see more of this guy. He knocks almost all of his opponents out in the first round, so I'd like to see more of his game, because once he starts fighting higher opponents up on the ranking, he's not just going to be knocking dudes out in the first round. So he looked good. It was an awesome knockout. If I'm him, I'm posting that knockout everywhere, just riding that knockout wave, and gaining some fans all around the world, because I think that was his UFC debut. Jimmy Crute defeats Pacquiao. Jimmy, I didn't think he was going to win this fight. I thought Marcin was going to keep the fight standing and then beat him in the later rounds, because I thought Jimmy, he wears out on the feet when he's getting tagged a lot. And not only that, Jimmy Crute hasn't won a fight since 2020. So then I was kind of riding on that. Like, Jimmy, but then I didn't take into consideration Jimmy was probably fighting for a roster spot. You know what I mean? Like, he was fighting for his job. And he went in there, took him down 3 times, and he ended up getting the armbar submission. Looked really good against Pacquiao. And yeah, that's how you beat Pacquiao, man. You take him down, you submit him. Jimmy Crute looked good. He pulled off the Jake Matthews, right? Like last week, I called Jake Matthews. I said, man, he needs to use all of his MMA weapons. Don't just strike with this guy, because Chitty's he's good on the feet. And that's kind of what Jimmy Crute did. He used his MMA, got him down, and submitted him. Looked really good. Same thing, Ryan Spann. Ryan Spann took him down right away. I was expecting this fight to stay on the feet a little bit longer, but Ryan Spann went in there, took him down right away, ended up getting a arm triangle. Looked really good. And yeah, like that was a good performance from Ryan Spann. You never know with him. Like, I think he's finding his base at heavyweight. I didn't realize how big he is, like in terms of weight. Like, he's 250 pounds yesterday, and he used to fight at 205. So maybe that big weight cut, maybe he had every time he fought at 205, he just had bad weight cuts. That's why he never looked as great when he was fighting at 205. He had as if he had good performances and then bad performances. That could be it. He probably feels better at heavyweight for sure. And yeah, he looked good against Brzezinski. The submission was really good. Good win for Ryan. And then Bruno Ferreira, same thing. Jackson McVeigh, debut in the UFC. I don't think he really deserved to be fighting someone like Bruno, who has almost like 10 fights in the UFC already. And against a lot of really good dudes. Like Bruno Ferreira, to just put in perspective, knocked out RoboCop. Why is Jackson McVeigh fighting this guy? He's a fucking long-time vet in the UFC. I don't know why he's making his debut. Maybe it was just like a short notice thing, or I don't know, man. I didn't think it was a good matchup for Jackson McVeigh, and it showed. He took a low kick early and was like, ow, like he like limped, and it was like, okay, that's like the first low kick Bruno throws and lands, and you're already limping. That's not a good sign. So he went in there. Bruno got him in an armbar, triangle armbar kind of situation, and yeah, he ended up finishing the fight really early. I think it was round 1. And he looked good, man. Bruno looked good. I think he needs to fight, someone with a little bit more seasoned vet as well. Someone on that same level, because he's good. He has the potential to knock a lot of people out, and he's really good on the ground as well. So Bruno, he's going to have a good future ahead of him if he keeps fighting the right guys. And then Carly Judas, bro, she looked fucking nice. For lady striking, she's one of the better strikers in the division. Probably top 3 best female strikers, top 5 best female strikers out of all the females right now. She looked fucking good. Feints, nice combos, beautiful technique. She threw hooks correctly, threw straights correctly, threw that fucking straight to the knee, left straight to that rear knee really well. timed it really well. It was only a matter of time. She landed it twice, and I was like, damn, that shit's landing. And yeah, she ended up finishing in the third round with that knee. And it was bothering me because the commentators were like, oh my God, what a great liver shot. The fucking knee hit her right in the middle of the stomach. I don't know when the liver, became your solar plexus. But yeah, she knocked out Nicole Cagliari with the knee to the stomach, and it looked really, she's badass. I can't wait to see her fight again. She's really early in her career. She's only 5-2, so give her, another prelim fight, and have her just keep starching these girls. Weed out all these girls with no stand up. You know what I mean? Put these girls on notice. Keep giving her prelim fights until she's ready for a main card on a fight night, and then give her a ranked opponent then. But yeah, anyway, that was the fights. Great night of fights. Even better card is on the horizon with DDP and Khamzat, and then actually Robert Whittaker next week. Robert Whittaker and Rainer de Ritter. That's gonna be a really good fight, really fun fight. But yeah, I will be seeing you guys on the next one. Peace out, everybody. Make sure you like and subscribe. Don't miss it. All right, peace.